Bring the city council meeting to order. I would like to please ask everyone to please remain standing and recite the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Aaron, would you please do roll call?
Jenny Bauer-Schultz.
Here.
Matt Dyer.
Here.
Tyler Fullingham.
Here.
Scott Murray. Abby Wilder.
Here.
Okay, were you all given a chance to review the minutes from the previous meeting held on July 15th?
Make a motion to accept them as emailed.
Second.
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Okay, Tyler, did you turn that on?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, Jamie, you want to come up? Let's see. Quote for the alley cat, or cat alley.
Yes, so the project that Main Street is working on with the funds that were available from the facade grant, we have a quote here for planters, and they're the bright color, they're what was in the picture that was presented. And so one of those quotes is from the granary, and that price for 6 planters, 3 of them are going to be 36 inches wide, 3 of them are 24 inches wide, and they're going to be in the bright colors. The quote from the granary is $2,550. And then we have another quote, and that is from ePlanters, which is it's an online planner source, and that quote is $4,243. So, I mean, we'd like to move forward with the granary if that's.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Okay,
Thank you.
glad we can buy them from the granary.
Yeah.
Let's go through real quick. There's a conflict of interest disclosure statement. Do you want to explain it?
I can. Let me get it.
It's for biosolids, right? Is that?
Yeah, we're just taking some biosolids to a farm that
Yeah. So
Yeah.
they're biosolids that are leaving the wastewater plant. And really, we probably didn't need to do this, but I said let's just get a statement out there that Carrie's accepting it on her farm. It's something that's been done in the past, but just want to make sure, show it was a conflict of interest.
I'll make a motion to approve that conflict of interest.
There is no financial gain or anything like that, so I just want to make it clear.
I'll
Right.
second.
Motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Okay. Let's do the, you want to do the budget calendar or you want to wait?
I can do it right
Let's
now.
do that. Let's talk about review of the budget, 2026 budget calendar.
Okay, so I wanted to just highlight some important dates that are coming up for the 2026 budgets. I handed out just some, like I said, some dates. Next meeting in August, which will be 8/19, council will review the budget Form 1 with department heads. September 16th is the budget public hearing. October 7th will be the budget adoption. Also on October 7th will be the first and second reading for the salary ordinance for both elected and employees. And then October 21st will be the third reading, which is the adoption of employees and elected salary ordinances. Again, I just wanted to let everyone know these dates because they are very important, and we also need to have quorum whenever we are adopting our budget. You should have received your budget both electronically yesterday, and then I also have a hard copy for you for your review for the next couple weeks. So a little bit of reading material for you. And if you have any questions, please let me know. Okay.
Do we need to do a third reading?
It's gonna be, it's the same dates, we'll just do
Just
the first
separate?
reading since we.
Yeah, just be a
Okay.
first and second reading.
Right, oh, okay,
Okay.
Since we had an ordinance that we only passed, we passed ordinance
Ah,
on 2
perfect.
readings, right?
Okay.
so
Thank
it'll
you.
be, yeah, same dates, but it'll be first reading on the 7th and
Yep.
final reading on the 21st.
Okay, thank you for that.
Yeah, you're welcome.
You have a chance how the, like, I think Kevin always had like a comparison, like what the increase was per.
I do have a comparison for the last several years. I can send you that.
Yeah,
It's a
just-
spreadsheet.
Just from last year to this year, if you could.
Okay. Yep.
Okay, we have a resolution to update the employee handbook, to include, I think it's some training.
Yes. So, Erin, I can describe it, or do you wanna talk about it, with it being?
I can. So what we had decided was that we felt that it would be a good idea to have all employees, current employees and also new hires, to go through harassment training. It's a video, if you will, that is just a YouTube video. It's about 15 minutes long, but it just goes over again the appropriate things to say and to do and what's not appropriate. We will pass this, correct?
Correct. So this is really a revision to the employee handbook that will address new hires, moving forward, but it is a policy change, and so that's also going to impact existing employees. And so the clerk treasurer's office, in conjunction with department heads, is going to oversee implementation of training for all current staff members and make sure that everyone has, had the opportunity to be a part of the training and has completed it. So all staff will watch it, they'll sign an acknowledgement form, those will be collected by department heads, turned into clerk treasurer's office, and made a part of employee files. That part is going to be completed by the end of the year, and then when the handbook supplements come out with any kind of revisions made, that'll address new hires moving forward after January 1, and it'll just be a part of their onboarding and employee orientation. It's just good to make sure that we are doing our part to make sure everybody has a safe and healthy work environment, and that everyone kind of understands how to conduct themselves. Yeah.
It's too bad everyone doesn't take this. Not just employees.
Fair.
Okay.
I move to introduce resolution 2025-9 by short title only. Second.
Motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
Resolution 2025-9, a resolution of the Common Council of the City of Decatur, Indiana, which amends the City of Decatur Employee Handbook, Section 703, as amended December 3rd, 2024.
I move to adopt resolution 2025-9. Second.
Motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Okay. Let's stick with resolutions. We have one to increase the police department's petty cash fund. I think that was discussed in the Board of Works, and Kevin did a good job explaining why they need to increase that with increasing fees for postage and blood. I forget what you said.
Postage
No, you don't have to if you don't want to. Yeah, okay.
Make a motion, to accept the request.
Okay. No, wait, we have a resolution.
Oh, sorry. More complicated than that.
Entertain a motion to introduce resolution 2025-10
So moved.
by short title only.
Second.
Motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
Resolution of the City of Decatur Common Council authorizing an increase to the Decatur Police Department petty cash fund.
I move to adopt resolution 2025-10. Second.
Motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. So the employee handbook, dash 9. Okay. The wheel tax thing, right? And it's ordinance? So next we have, a discussion in an ordinance, and, we found out we have to move forward, or move kind of swiftly with, is a, ordinance for a wheel, it's an excise/wheel tax for vehicles. The county already has one. Basically what's going on is, a few years back, the state made it allowable for cities to have their own wheel tax, which would be on car registrations. With the changes that have been made with the state, with the governor and the state legislature, they are requiring for a certain pot of money for community crossings. There will be the normal pot of money, and then there will be some for Indianapolis, and there will be some for the tracks program, and then there's going to be some left, which is about $80 million, they think, somewhere in that range. And that's going to be distributed to communities around the state by lane miles within your community and by population, only if you enact this wheel tax. So this $80 million is going to be sitting out there for communities, and if you do not have your own wheel tax, basically what they're calling it is you must have skin in the game. I've heard that 1,000 times in the last 2 months. So we have, if we want to be a part of that and, you know, work on our streets, sidewalks, stuff like that, we need, this is something that we have to do to be a part of that additional pot. So Ann has prepared an ordinance, and you have to pass it by September 1st, and it needs 2 readings, so it's gonna have to be 2 in August, and able to be able to collect it next year.
So the reason that it needs to be done by September 1st, the ordinance is gonna be adopted by then, but it has to travel. The municipality will impose the tax, but the BMV collects it. And then the BMV distributes it back to the communities, and it'll be an accumulative, non-reverting fund that holds that money for very, very specified purposes. That's limited really only to use as in-kind matches for grant funding, like for the
Community crossings.
Community Crossings program, or for our own maintenance and repairs to city-owned streets and sidewalks. So, one, we have to make sure that BMV is aware that they're responsible for collecting this tax revenue on our behalf. The Department of Revenue also receives a copy to maintain for their records. We have to go through a publication process before we get it down to all of those folks. We're under the gun to get it passed, but it's in large part because it has to travel to other state agencies in order for them to be able to prepare to address it or handle it for us too.
Do we have any idea like how much of a tax it is?
So there are 2 parts to the tax. The wheel tax is for commercial vehicles, and there are a number of exceptions listed within the ordinance, but there's a maximum of $40 that can be imposed on commercial vehicles. And then right now the ordinance is read or is prepared to assess a $30 tax, so Decatur is not doing the maximum allowable, but it would be assessed annually, and part of the cost of just it would just be added on to the registration of the vehicle on any given year. There is also a motor vehicle excise tax surtax that is related to passenger vehicles and like trucks, motorcycles, that is not to exceed $25, and that is currently penciled in at $20. So again, it's not taxed at the max rate. Same process, that would be done as part of the annual vehicle registration with the state. BMV collects it and then distributes it to the city, where again it's used for very limited purposes. Same concept with the wheel tax, and the clerk treasurer's office would be assigned and authorized to make distributions for uses out of that fund, and then would provide council an annual report by October 1st as to what estimated revenues would be for the following year, and that would be made a part of our annual budget each year.
What did you say? What was the max that could be imposed for the excise?
So
Also
20
25.
25
25.
more for passenger, non-commercial uses, and then 40 is the max for, the wheel tax on
Wheel tax.
commercial vehicles.
Did you say this was going for a different pot of money or the pot of money that we've been getting community crossings out of for the last few
It's an
years?
additional pot of money. So the normal, but this money that collected can be used for our match for community crossings. What's gonna happen is there's gonna be one call now per year instead of two, so community crossings is gonna be way more competitive. So for basically, so some cities aren't gonna get it, and so now this additional pot's there, and as long as you enact this wheel tax, then you're gonna get a percentage of it based on your lane miles and your population.
You get a percentage of it without even applying, or you apply for it and then you get it?
If
for
you enact a wheel tax, you will get some automatically.
Based off of lane miles?
Your
and-
lane miles and your population.
Is it based off what your wheel tax is?
No.
Playing the game.
It is, and last week I was at the mayor's conference in Elkhart, and we had 2 sessions on wheel tax, and a lot of the cities that have enacted have stood up and talked, they all went to the max 25. I had an issue with doing that, but
Right.
most of them did, and they've talked about all the projects they've gotten done because of it, and how it's helped with the community crossings match and different things, so.
So what would be our
I mean, 'cause the
proposed
county already charges.
portion based on our lane miles and population?
And then it's another.
Like, is there a
They have no
range?
idea.
We don't know.
No one's come out with those numbers. I
Okay.
mean, obviously the bigger cities, are gonna have a lot more lane miles, a lot more population, so they're gonna have a lot bigger percentage.
Mhm.
But I haven't seen any calculations yet.
Okay.
So from what I hear you're saying is like, if we don't pass this ordinance for the wheel tax, we basically will not have any community crossings
No, we can
fundings at all.
we can apply for the original community crossings.
This is in addition to.
The problem is the original community crossings is gonna get way more competitive because they're only doing one
And
call
one
a year.
time a year.
Yeah.
We've benefited greatly, millions of dollars in
Oh,
community
yeah.
crossings grants.
Yes.
And moving forward, if you wanna play the game, they're pretty much forcing wheel tax.
And you're gonna see more of that in the next 2 years. With income taxes and everything else. That's
What I like about it though is it is restricting that money, we can only spend it on
Right.
road projects.
right.
Yeah.
So we've made it a
I
goal
just-
to constantly be working on the roads, cause there's still plenty that need work.
For sure.
It's like we just know how it's hard for a lot of people, the economy and everything, and so just to incur more expenses when they go to the BMV, even if it's,
$50.
yeah. But I also know that, the streets, the sidewalks, like that's foundational to our city and the safety and the ability for people to get outside and get around town.
So we have another ordinance prepared for this.
Yes, there is an ordinance that would establish, the wheel tax, the excise tax, surtax, and creates, the cumulative non-reverting funds. That would be the city's depository for that, for those revenues. Directives on how those funds are to be spent and utilized, and how accounting and reporting, would be handled for that tax. And so that would be, and the tax themselves would be $30 for the commercial, wheel tax and $20 for the vehicle license excise tax.
When would we go up to those maxes? Is that
There,
just-
that would be an amendment to the ordinance, so it would be
would-
imposed at the rates that it's established unless and until council would adjust it otherwise.
Okay.
I think, like I am kind of hesitant on this, but I also think about how many times you do hit a pothole and the potential for damage to your vehicle, and that ends up costing more than $20 likely than a, once a year increment at the BMV, so,
And I can tell you, our local roads and streets fund has been diminishing over the last few years. It had a balance for a while, and more and more is getting used as we have been doing more and more to improve our roads. And Aaron let me know the other day that it's not going to withstand what we've been doing. So we would really have to cut back on what we do on the roads.
If when those calculations come out about what we would potentially get, is there any possibility that it wouldn't be worth our time? I mean, we don't know those calculations yet, but
It's 80 million split up amongst everyone that's playing the game. And it could be more than 80 million. So again, there's 100 million that's going for community crossings. There's so 50 million for Indianapolis has been set aside as long as Indianapolis matches with 50 million. So if Indianapolis doesn't match with 50 million, then that money will go into the pot too. So this number, and then so they're just guessing right now.
sure.
But in the past few years, they've done about 250 million.
Okay.
So that's why they really don't know where they're at.
number 5, is that right? Ordinance 5. I think that's all I have.
2025-5. Is that right?
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's what they're
I
looking
didn't know
at.
they were asking. Yeah, 5.
I make a motion to introduce ordinance 2025-5 on its first reading by short title only.
Second.
Motion is second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
Ordinance 2025-5, an ordinance of the Common Council of the City of Decatur imposing a municipal wheel tax and motor vehicle license excise tax and creating the City of Decatur Wheel Tax Fund and the City of Decatur Motor Vehicle License Excise Tax Fund.
I make a motion to pass ordinance 2025-5 on its first reading.
Second.
Motion is second. Roll call vote.
Jenny Bauer Schultz,
Yes.
Matt Dyer,
Yes.
Tyler Fulenkamp,
Yes.
Abby Wilder,
Yes.
and do I say Scott is not present?
You just say Scott absent.
Okay, Scott is absent.
So we need a motion to table it, right?
Correct.
Oh. I make a motion to table ordinance 2025-5 until our next meeting on August 19th.
Second.
Motion is second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
So this will be scheduled for, a public hearing at 7 o'clock on the 19th. To allow the opportunity for the public to weigh in on, the creation of this, and if there are any changes, the ordinance as it's read right now does establish 2 new non-reverting funds. There are a couple of funds already in existence, with the city that receive county wheel tax and excise tax amounts, And so we're gonna do a little checking with State Board of Accounts to see whether or not we actually need to create these additional new funds, or whether what we already have in existence is gonna be sufficient. But just in the time frame where it was discussed and to introduce this, we wanted to make sure that we had a clean ordinance in place that could be introduced. And so if there are any tweaks, and can kind of minimize the impact or headache to the clerk treasurer's office if we're able to utilize the existing funds that we already have, it'll come back in a slightly amended form for consideration.
Oh, did you die?
So,
Okay, did you have anything else? Did you have anything else?
Are we doing another ordinance? I didn't have anything for this one. Look at the next page.
yeah, we're doing this.
Okay, yeah. Oh, I didn't know if you meant, like,
Yeah.
if anything on this, nothing else on this.
I'm gonna hand you,
So this one's tabled.
that one's tabled.
Yep. I'll need that back then.
Thank you. Yes, we are doing that.
Okay, thank
I
you.
do have that. So yes, I do have another word.
Okay.
Another ordinance.
Sorry.
Yeah.
So this will be 6. All right. So there are going to be a couple of changes to this year's salary ordinance. The wastewater and the stormwater department are pooling together to create a full-time position. There is already a part-time staff member who is going to go to full-time status, and part of this position's responsibilities is going to oversee some of the more administrative reporting work for the MS4 reporting, and I can let Josh or Carrie describe a little bit more about that if need be. But right now, this position does not yet exist, and so we need to make reference to that within the salary ordinance to be able to allocate pay scales. And because it's going to be a shared position between stormwater and wastewater, there will be a reference for this position within each of their respective departments within the salary ordinance. So this addresses that addition. And so I would entertain a motion to introduce ordinance number 2025-6 by short title only, to amend the 2025 annual salaries and compensation ordinance.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
Ordinance number 2025-6, an ordinance of the Common Council of the City of Decatur amending salary ordinance 2024-15 regarding compensation for wastewater and stormwater department personnel.
I make a motion to pass ordinance 2025-6 on its first reading.
Second.
Motion and second. Roll call vote?
Jenny Bauer Schultz.
Yes.
Matt Dyer.
Yes.
Tyler Fulenkamp.
Yes.
Scott Murray is absent. Abby Wilder.
Yes.
I make a motion to table ordinance, are we tabling? Or do we move this through?
The Board of Works gave approval for him to
Right.
move her to a full-time position, so we
I
probably
think you
shouldn't.
can suspend the rules. and-
Okay.
That's fair. That's a good point.
I make a motion to suspend the rules and pass ordinance 2025-6 on its second reading by short title only.
Second.
Motion and second. Roll call vote? Or no, sorry. Motion and second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
ordinance number 2025-6, an ordinance of the Common Council of the City of Decatur amending salary ordinance 2024-15 regarding compensation for wastewater and stormwater department personnel.
I make a motion to adopt ordinance 2025-6 on its final reading.
Now motion second, roll call vote.
Okay. Jenny Bauer Schultz,
Yes.
Matt Dyer,
Yes.
Tyler Fulenkamp,
Yes.
Scott Murray is absent, Abby Wilder.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, now do you have anything else? Sure. Okay, department heads. Kevin. Oh, did you? Alright. Alright. Thanks. Jeff.
One thing, we finally finished up Adams Memorial's extinguisher training, and over a 4-day period, we had 761 employees.
Wow.
Cool.
Great. Carrie.
We started cleaning the next aeration, the east aeration basins today. So we have got 4 loads out there.
Really? And how many's left after this?
There's 2 more after these.
Okay.
How many loads? No idea.
And how many years has it been since this has been done before?
2008.
Okay. Alright. Bill.
Get the let out people are gonna be here going door to door again at the end of the month. So expect to see some of them, some crews out. I think it's the week of the 25th.
Okay. Again, part of the water project we were talking about earlier, this is just verifying whether it's lead or what the service line is. Okay, Josh.
And we finished up on the storm behind Shermeyer, about how to be 9 manholes. That's done, some good grade work, cleaning up. Very simple work on the aeration basically.
Good deal. That's a major project down there, between Shermeyer and the street garage. That was basically all swamp back in there, so. That's good. That's good. Great.
That's good.
Anything from Aaron? Anything from public? I see John Summers back here.
Can I come up?
Sure. You may approach.
Well, I've got a short story and a small act.
Identify yourself and why who you're representing.
My name is John Summers.
How do you spell that? Never mind.
Regarding the flag on top of the courthouse, it's been gone for, I don't know how long, 10, 15 years, I really have no idea. Late last year in county council, I started pushing and prodding, seeing what we can do to get it back up there. At the end of the year, we had approved right around $9,600. I worked with Furman Electric, Jeremiah Leniger. He agreed, we went up top. And by the way, it takes about 15 minutes to go up through. Oh, there's probably 9 sets of stairs, and some of the stairs are basically a ladder. It's a journey to get up there.
I did it in 12, but yeah.
Yeah.
It's part of the
But part of the problem
fire
was
training.
the pulley system. I was just always told it's broke. So we looked at the pulley system. I got the pulley system freed, and Furman Electric is in the midst of, well, it's almost done, but I wanted a control system so you could, it'd be wired motor all the way at the very top to raise and lower the flag, and then conduit and wiring would be ran clear down to one of the judges' chambers. So it could be full staff, half staff, and totally down. And there was also a spotlight that was system, kind of working down that way, and vice versa, that, pulley system is aluminum, and it's some, stainless steel aircraft cable that raises and lowers. And obviously, the steel is gonna be more abrasive to the aluminum than the aluminum to the steel, so it essentially sawed the roller. And the mechanism that holds the flag gets stuck there, cause it cannot now roll over. So my ask is, I had Smith Erectors come and give me an estimate of $6,600. $6,600, that's for the crane, and it comes, the bucket and the permits are all itemized, and an iron worker, it's mandatory with this. My ask is, before I go back to county council, to maybe, and I'm not sure if I can get a vote on this, since it's not directly, on the agenda, but a 50-50 split, only being, this will help me sell it to council and help us finish this flag project. I'm guessing 15 years in the making. And, Decatur has a unique relationship with the building beyond all the other cities in the county, being it's right there. No other city can say that the courthouse is right there. And I'm just looking for some good faith help me get that flag back on top of the courthouse.
So you need 6,600 or 33?
33.
Okay.
Yeah, up to 50%.
John, I can assure you that the public many times doesn't know who owns what or who controls what, because I've had dozens of people over the years
I think
ask,
city council.
why is the flag not flying on the top of the courthouse? And it's complicated, but many people would like to see the flag flying on top of the courthouse.
I've heard it from local residents as well as people from out of town wanting to know why our courthouse does not have a flag on top of it.
And it's, obviously it's a county building, and Decatur is under no obligation. I'm just looking for a good faith, Decatur's in it, the county's in it, let's get it done.
I appreciate all the work that you've done into this, because this has been an ongoing, concern for many people for many years. I'm for it. I'm for helping, splitting it for sure. Cause I know, and I'm sure this has happened many times, right? Like, the county helped us with pickleball courts. So it keeps the city in good relationship with the county. And so, where would we pull the funds from?
I'd have to look and see what's
Yeah.
available, but 33 doesn't seem to be too much to ask for, so.
And I didn't mean to rush all this, but like I told the commissioners this morning, life operates on fast scale. Government is, man, forget about it. It's our meeting, we have a meeting coming up Tuesday, and then it's not for another month. And you guys are 2 weeks from tonight. It's just, you know what I mean?
I agree, and I appreciate Jenny's comments, because, they did help us with Riverside. We collaborated on the Merit Center. They helped us with their heating and air conditioning. They built the buildings out there with the public transportation as well as council on aging. So there has been some projects we've worked together on. And I do agree that the courthouse, even though it's a county building, it still is one of the faces of our community. I mean, a lot of your pictures of Decatur have the courthouse in it.
Yeah.
He and I, for one, would love to see a flag back on top of that building. Is there a motion to ask?
I'll make a
Aaron,
motion to, as long as the funds are there, that we split the cost of the 6,600 with the county.
I'll second.
Motion and a second. Any more discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. All right, John, thanks for all your work on that.
Thank you.
Thank you
Yeah.
guys.
a company that was gonna do it?
Furman Electric,
No, I thought we had a whole
Smith
other.
Erector.
Who's
Running the crane is Smith Erector.
Smith Erector, out of Markle. I'm not sure. Smith Erector.
All right,
Permission.
anything from council?
I was approached by, one of the judges recently to encourage city council to consider as the county is looking at the new judicial center and where that is going to be placed, just to kind of plant the seed with council. So in the spirit of collaboration with the county, and because the courthouse is an integral part of our community and our downtown, to be creative and to start thinking about different ways that the city can maybe assist or be a part of ensuring that project remains in Decatur's downtown area. I know there has been discussion, there have been a couple of different studies done in the last decade, but most recently it was determined by an advisory committee for the commissioners that the judicial center should remain located in the downtown area, and adopted kind of a design plan for the judicial center. And so that is still being considered, and I'm not sure that any decisions have necessarily been made by the county, but I was encouraged to address it with council and to maybe kind of plant the seed for ways that the city might be cooperative in making sure that it remains in the downtown area. So just want to raise that point.
Good. And I have been on that steering committee the whole time. And I appreciate the county involved, the city with them on this project. So
Long ago, 92 counties decided to put their courthouse right in the middle of the county seat for a reason. So there's some history there.
Yep.
I hope we stick to it.
I agree. Anything else from council?
I'll make a motion to pay the claims.
I'll second.
Motion is second, to pay the claims, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Motion is second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.